Hi there. This is Dr. Josie. I thought I'd hop on tonight. My voice is reasonably okay. I won't stay long, but wanted to tell you a few things. One is, that it doesn't really matter which disease you have or how big or how small it is. Everything that's not working in your body can be a big pain in the tush. And hi Mary, hi Melissa, hi Jennifer, and Bertha is there. So I have a little thingy on my thumbnail, which is hurting a lot because your nail is a very sensitive area. And so we will get it checked out tomorrow. Probably needs to be removed. And I can't wait for that to happen because it's really annoying. And then you realize how much you really use your right hand. And so it's always something, but I was counting, and I think many of you do that. Every day you don't have to go to the hospital or do something medical is a good day. And the last time I was in the hospital for surgery or emergency room was 18 months ago. So I'm happy. And this is nothing. This is just outpatient tomorrow. So I'll let you know. But it's just a nice reminder that no matter how big, small things are, when your body isn't working the way it goes, it can be annoying. Hi, Bertha. The other thing I wanted to run by all of you is this article in the New York Times from this weekend that I thought is really fascinating, and it is not the first time we have seen these type of results, and it's probably not the last time either. This is not conclusive. It just continues to remind us that this is an ongoing point of discussion that all of us should discuss with our own doctors. It's still not a yes, it's still not a no. It needs to be discussed individually between you and your healthcare provider, taking into account your personal circumstances. And to relieve you from your mystery, hi Gloria, this article was looking at, I think it's published in a New England Journal of Medicine, but this particular article I'm quoting is now in the New York Times, reporting on the fact that vitamin D, the D is in David, supplementation does not help protect you from bone fractures, which is something, like I said, we've known before, and now we know it even more. This is the second independent study that confirmed the same. And they even looked at subgroups, which I'm sure we will hear more about moving forward. But supposedly, whether you're osteoporotic or on the way to become osteoporotic, meaning you're osteopenic, or if your vitamin D level is low, none of that seems to matter in terms of benefiting from vitamin D. And so some experts, let me call them that, were asked to comment on these findings, and some of them were very extreme, and they said, based on these findings, I'm not going to do anything with vitamin D anymore. I'm not going to recommend people to take them, and I'm also not going to check levels. And I'm not sure that I'm ready to go that extreme. However, it's an interesting observation, just like with many other things, that we should use our brain and individual decision making as to whether or not vitamin D usage is needed for you. For example, we still don't know if individuals who have some of these risk factors that I just mentioned, osteopenia or osteoporosis, maybe a low vitamin D level, and then add on top of that more risk factors like premature menopause or anti-estrogen therapy that many breast cancer patients take, or anti-androgen therapy that some prostate cancer patients have to take, whether that would tip the scale into the direction of there is a benefit for vitamin D. Yes, correct, Mary. Vitamin D has been a hype. Every few years, maybe every 10 years, there's a new hype. I think the one before vitamin D was vitamin E, and everybody was recommended to go on vitamin E because it would do many good things for a person's body until we discovered that long-term intake of vitamin E at dosages that are 800 international units or higher are associated with, I'm not saying cause and effect, but are associated with the development of a stroke. And so it seems like now it's vitamin D. Everybody is thinking that vitamin D is good for many things, from cognition to balance to muscle strength to you name it. And it's really hard to sort out if it's really the vitamin D or if vitamin D levels are reflecting something else in our body. If your vitamin D levels are better, maybe it means your body as a whole is healthier, and it may not necessarily directly have to do with vitamin D. So where I'm going with this is similar as a study that was published 5 years ago now in a very highly validated journal, I believe the Journal of American Medical Association, found that intake of multivitamins is, I'm just going to use the word harmful, because there was an association, again, not a cause and effect, but an association between the intake of multivitamin and mortality. Now, the problem is this because individuals who are healthy don't take multivitamin? So do these individuals pass earlier because of their underlying disease? Or is it because of this weird combination of hyper therapeutic dosage of supplements with a carcinogenic filler around? Is that possibly doing who knows what in your body? And then talking about cancer survivors, some studies have been published that demonstrated that antioxidants actually help the tumor. And so where I'm going with this is with all these supplements, I think it's just hitting home on the fact that maybe we should not blindly take supplements, but try to get our vitamins from diet. And if we do think, hi Kim, that we need to start supplements, then maybe discuss it with your provider before you do so. Obviously, the story is different if your provider recommends you go on something like vitamin B12 or vitamin D for that matter. But I guess what I'm trying to make you aware of is that it's okay for you to ask your doctor, okay, you're telling me to take this as a supplement. Is there any other way that I can take this not through a supplement? And do I really need it? What are the pros and what are the cons? Thus far, we haven't really found a big negative of vitamin D, except if you overdose it. Meaning if you're on vitamin D maintenance, you usually don't, maintenance dosing, you usually don't run the risk of being overdosed. But if you go on a vitamin D boost, very high dosage, usually given once a week, I usually put an end date to that, or I only give so much supply without a refill, so that the particular individual does not run the risk of accidentally overdosing. It's a little hard to get vitamin D in your diet, and so if it's really, really low and maybe you have multiple risk factors, I guess there can be an ongoing conversation between the provider and the patient. What are the pros and cons, and maybe we should go on it for a little bit. But checking vitamin D levels, I used to chase my tail with all my clients the whole year through, but there was no evidence that doing that really made a difference. So then I only checked it in the middle of the winter when we have the least sun exposure. And now it looks like maybe we don't have to check it at all. That some people don't even believe in vitamin D deficiency. And it goes back to the fact that our bodies are doing a pretty good job regulating themselves on their own. There is a homeostatic system in our body that if something goes down, something else in your body, sort of a cascade, gets triggered and may compensate for that. There's so many things in our body that we still don't understand. So I can put the link to the article in the comments if you'd like me to do that. You can use that to talk with your providers, so you have something to show to your healthcare provider when you're ready to have that discussion. I'm not sure this answers questions. I think this article raises more questions and empowers us to double check and discuss whether or not we would want to start the vitamin D supplementation. And this is talking about maintenance dosing, by the way, not necessarily boosting, although supposedly they did do some sub-analysis to look at the benefits of raising levels. So I guess more data will come out. It's just very confusing. Then, hi Lisa, hi Kathy. Then somebody else earlier today posted somewhere on my Facebook page calcium, and if you can become toxic from calcium intake, if you take a calcium supplement, and that is a whole discussion too, but I'll keep it short. The short answer is no. You're actually supposed, if you take it as a supplement only, you're supposed to spread it out. Take 600 milligrams maybe in the morning and 600 milligrams maybe in the evening as an oral pill, because otherwise your body can't absorb it all. And basically you're just, how do I say that nicely, secreting it into your bowel movements, anything that your body doesn't absorb. So you can't become, I guess it's in theory possible, it's hard for you to become toxic from taking too much orally. But with calcium, the story is, and I'm on here longer than I anticipated, but that's okay. And leave me any questions if you have any. Calcium intake as an oral supplement has been associated, again, no cause and effect, but associated with the calcification of your coronary arteries, which that in its turn is associated with increased risk for heart attack. And so many of us are now slowing down by recommending individuals to take calcium supplementation. And if possible, we try to recommend you get it through diet. And there's multiple sources for your calcium intake from diet. I can put a link for that in the comments as well. That's easier to do than for vitamin D. And you have to just use math a little bit and try to see if you're coming close to the roughly recommended intake of 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day of calcium. And you can get it from dairy products and a variety of different sources. But also there, another example, just like vitamin D and a multivitamin, that maybe us putzing around by taking artificial supplements is maybe not the best thing for our body. but that is my opinion. There is a doctor for every patient, meaning if you would like supplements, I'm sure you can find somebody who would give it to you, and maybe, maybe, I don't know, in one or a few more lifetimes, we will understand all of this better, and maybe we have it wrong right now, but I believe nature can take care of itself in terms of these supplements. So think about it multiple times, discuss it with your provider before you go on any supplements. And there's probably a place for every one of them, but I'm not prescribing it as blindly anymore as I was. Kathy says, that's why I won't take it. My father lost his leg. I'm sorry, Kathy. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I can continue to expand on, but let's see if any of you have any questions. I see that Kathy invited herself to come on the video here. I'm not sure if Kathy was trying to do that or if you hit the button by mistake, but anyway, we can figure that out for the next time maybe. So that's what I wanted to share. Do any of you have any questions? It's good to see you too, Jen. Kathy said no, she doesn't want to come on, so I think she pressed the wrong button by mistake. Are there any questions you have before I let you go for tonight? You don't have to. I know, wrong button. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I just wanted to come on. My voice is pretty good tonight. Thank you, Mary. It'll be fine. But they may place a suture. That's why I washed my hair tonight, so I don't have to wash it for a few days. You know, I'm doing okay, Kathy. Thank you. I'm doing okay. Putzing around with my steroids a little bit, so it makes me go up and down a little bit. I'm trying to cut out the carbohydrates from my diet, which is a whole different story. I'm supposed to limit myself to 50 grams of carbohydrates, so I'm trying, but I like sweets, so that's maybe a story for a different day, but they recommended I go on sugar replacement products, but I'm always a little bit nervous about those because they're basically chemicals, so I'm a little torn, but at the same time, I also need to work on my weight. But to make a long story short, I'm okay. I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm doing good. My mother is still on a schedule to come in 3 weeks now, so let's see if that actually is happening. Baby steps. Maybe I'll come on with her when she's here, but she's very shy. Yeah, I know, Kathy. I'd rather not have sugar substitutes either. I don't like them. But I gained a lot of weight, so I have to, I'm not moving a lot. I'm on steroids. There's a million reasons why that is. Plus, I have this metabolic disease that doesn't help. But somehow I need to try to bring it down a little bit because it doesn't make me, it interferes with my ability to move on top of everything else. So I'm trying. All I'm doing is trying, and that's all we all can do. So I'm doing my best. And I know all of you are too. And it's really nice to see all of you. So I'll come and do this more often, but I don't want to promise how often, in case I don't. Yes. It's really good to be here. Post me some questions. I have something to talk about the next time. But wishing you all a good evening. Take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. And I'll let you know how it goes with my finger tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Sleep well.